me about your life before you came to Whittinghame.
I was born in Bahrain, and most of my clothing, I remember, was made by my mother. Used to sew them, and I used to be put into shift dresses, what they call shift dresses, like a girl. And that's really. I went to a school run by some nuns in Bahrain, and that was it. Really, that's my memory of it.
And why did you move to England for schooling?
Because my father wanted me to get an English education. He sent me to England, and my older brother also to England, and my younger brother to India to have an education there. So to give us a little balance.
And why Whittinghame?
Because there was another boy from Bahrain called Sydney Kuduri, and he went to Whittinghame, and he spoke well of it, so my father sent us to Whittinghame.
And what do you remember of your arrival in England and in Brighton?
Oh, I was picked up, I remember, by... My father had no idea that, first of all, you had to apply for a place at school. He thought he just could send the children to school. So he put us on a plane, BOAC, to London Airport. There was no Heathrow in those days, London Airport. And he sent a telegram to the school saying the boys, my brother and myself, were arriving at London Airport. Please meet them, you know. He didn't make an application form, just sent us, you know. And they were shocked, the school was shocked, couldn't believe it. So they sent one of the teachers in a hurry to find us at the airport. And they picked us up at the airport and took us to school. My brother and myself, that is.
And what year did you first start?
1953. Queen's coronation had just taken place, I think in June. And they were still talking about the celebrations, the street parties and stuff like that. That's Queen Elizabeth, of course, you know. So that's my memory of it. And my first arrival in school.
And it was quite an international school in the 50s, Whittinghame College.
Of course.
What do you remember about where your friends came from and how you made friends at school?
It was no problem, very easy. There were some, you know, boys are boys. I mean, we used to get into scraps and things like that. But we enjoyed it mostly. It was nice, a very good school.
And it's obviously a Jewish school, but there were also Muslim boys from the Middle East.
When they ran out of Jews, they started taking Muslims in as well. Mostly from Iran, but one or two from Saudi Arabia. And I remember very well, the Saudis couldn't pay directly to the school. So there was a school nearby, a non-Jewish school. They would send, my school, Whittinghame would send the bill to the school nearby, and they would send it to Saudi Arabia. So the Saudi Arabia authorities wouldn't know they're going to a Jewish school. But they wanted to go to a Jewish school because they didn't want to have, the dietary rules are the same as the Jews. And they don't eat pork or ham or whatever. So they didn't want to send their children to Christian schools. So they sent them to the Jewish school. But they had to keep it secret.
And do you remember what relationships were like with the boys from Iran, the Muslim boys from Iran or Saudi Arabia? Did you have any friends?
They were very, no problem. The only problem was that I was told by my Saudi friends that if we're walking around and they come across someone of their family, pretend not to know me. They didn't want anybody to know that they've had Jewish friends. Okay? So any other Saudis came around, the elbow. So, okay, bye.
And did you maintain any of those friendships after you left the school?
No. Because they were in Arabia, and well, I'm not, basically. No, we never maintained friends. Although we were very good friends when we were in school, but after that, one of them became I heard, became a very big builder in Saudi Arabia. He became a construction guy and built a lot of properties and houses. I remember his name as well. Al-Fadl. Al-Fadl, yeah. I can't remember his first name. I can't remember. Nice boy.
What do you remember about life outside the school in Brighton? Did you visit Brighton? Did you get outside the school at all?
Well, as a junior, no. We weren't allowed out of the school. But later on, when we became older, there was a nightclub which we used to go to. And there was also a coffee bar which we used to attend. We used to get into fights there as well, I remember, at the coffee bar.
Who were the fights with?
Local boys mainly. Once there was one of the boys from my school met a girl, and she had a boyfriend, and her boyfriend was coming to meet her. But she was pretty free with her kisses, and she was sitting down on a thing in the park, having a hug with him, and the boyfriend arrived. There was trouble. Okay.
And what do you remember of the teachers at the school who made a particular impact on you?
They were very good teachers, actually. They were very. Some of them had backgrounds which was surprising even now. One of them was, I think, had something to do with inventing radar, and it's one of the things that the British invented and kept secret from the Germans. When the Germans were wondering why it was that the British knew certain things and they couldn't understand what it is, the British started a rumor that they gave carrots to the pilots and that improved their eyesight. And I don't know if the Germans believed it or not, but that was the rumor that the British started to try and put the Germans off the idea that the British had invented radar, and they could spot them even if you can't see them.
And clearly you made deep friendships at the school with the other boys.
Yeah.
Did any of those survive you leaving the school? Did you kind of remain in contact with?
Oh yeah, definitely. Many of them. We became like a family because we didn't have any family outside. All our family were abroad. I mean, Iranians and Bahrainis and whatever. So we became like a family. And till this day, I still have friends from school. In fact, my best friends are still from school, yeah. And I can rely on for anything I want.
Did they play any role in your business activities after you left the school?
No. I didn't go into business with any of my friends. I did with my brother, but not my friends.
And what did you do after you left the school?
I'd like to say I'm innocent, I haven't done anything. But I went to, after school, I went to Cairn Hall in Wales, which was a cramming course for accountancy in a place called Llandudno. You have to spit a little bit. I became an accountant, but not for an accountant outside, but for a business which my brother had started. and wanted me to join.
What business was that in?
A clothing business. This is one of them, actually. I still got all my clothing.
So
And we had our own label. And this is one of them. It's built, Lambretta.
And where's the business based?
Lambretta,
Where's the business based?
London, South London. Can't remember the area. Wembley area.
So did your family leave Bahrain, and what happened there?
No, they stayed in Bahrain while we were in school. They did leave Bahrain finally because we were all becoming too anglicized to go back to Bahrain. We couldn't speak their language anymore. Not having attended school there, had no school friends to grow up with, you know. So we all moved to England. My mother and my father moved to England for a while.
Great. And what significance has the alumni network played in your life?
What?
How significant has the Whittingham Club been for you?
The Whittingham Club, I suppose they were very much like a family. Even though you don't see them very often, you're still very friendly with them. You know, you still have a strong feeling for them. And that's the way it is, we're like almost like family, because we grew up together, you know. I was 8 years old when I went to school. I didn't leave till I was about, I don't know, 18 or something. So it's a long time. That's all my formative years were in school. So all the boys who were my friends then, some of them are still my friends. And if not them, then their children. One of my best friends died, but his son has become a friend of mine. We became very good friends, still today.
It's amazing that old boys are still meeting together and in some cases travelling very far to be here in Brighton.
Yeah.
What does it feel like to be back in Brighton?
It's like a family. It is a family, isn't it? It's an extended family. Perhaps not related directly, but because we grew up together, we feel like a family, like brothers or cousins or whatever, you know. And we get on very well with each other. We do very well.
Brilliant. And if you had to sum up what Whittingham has meant to you overall and how it shaped you in a few sentences, what would you say?
What Whittingham meant to me, I don't know how to describe it. It was, since I grew up there in Whittingham, I became very anglicized. So when I went back to Bahrain, I had no friends, couldn't speak the language anymore, forgot completely. You know, so I had no choice but to come back.